my dear friends. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? Yes, fantastic. I'm doing fine too. So, my dear friends, today we are in the chapter 2, unit 3, which is supply. We are in the chapter 2, unit 3, which is supply. So, sir, is it a easy topic? Very easy. My dear friends, always remember that whenever you want to study supply now, before that, always study demand. And we had studied demand as our first topic, right? So we know this very well. Okay. Now remember, in demand, you were thinking from whose point of view? Yes, you were thinking from consumer's point of view. While we are at supply, now my language is going to change. Now I will ask you to think not from consumer's point of view, but to think, yes, you guessed it right, from the supplier's point of view. So from whose point of view, sir, do we need to think? We need to think from, yes, you guessed it right. You need to think from supplier point of view. We need to think from supplier point of view. We need to think from supplier point of view. Okay. Right. And that's why we are saying from the producer or supplier's POV point of view. Okay. We must think from there. Okay. Now, the question is, what is supply? That is what we are having to understand. See, it is the quantity of a commodity. What is supply? Quantity of a commodity. What is supply? Quantity of a commodity which the producers are. Quantity of a commodity which the producers are. Who? Sir, the producers. Quantity of a commodity which the producers are willing to bring to the market for sale at a particular price at a particular point of time. Mind you, these two languages. Yes, we talk about different prices. Yes, we talk about different prices. But for one supply, we talk about a particular price only at a particular point of time. We need to remember this. Okay. Now let me give you an example of supply. Okay. Suppose this is a producer. Let's name this producer Mr. A or Mrs. A. Okay. Whatever it is. Now they have a chip. Let's say they have a bag business of bags. Okay. Let's say they are in the business of bags. Now, Mr. A produces a lot many bags. Let's say they have produced around 10,000 bags. Okay. But now, Mr. A thinks that in the near future, price of bags will rise. So, Mr. A is telling that at the current market price, let's say the current market price of bags is rupees 500 per unit. So, Mr. A is telling that though we have 10,000 units in the godown, though we have 10,000 units in our godown, at the current price, that is 500 per unit, we are ready to sell only 3,000 units. So my dear friends, remember, what the producer is ready to bring to the market for sale is supply, not what he or she is having at their godown. Oh. So sir, you are trying to tell us, that supply is 3,000 units. Yes, supply is 3,000 units. Yes, supply is 3,000 units. Supply is not 10,000 units because in godown you are having 10,000 units. Supply is 3,000 units because in the godown you are having 10,000 units. But in reality, the supply that you are ready to bring to the market for sale is 3,000 units. And so the answer will be 3,000 units. What will be the supply? 3,000 units will be the supply. Supply kitna hoga? 3,000 units. 10,000 units is the stock which the producer has in the godown. What they are ready to bring to the market for sale is supply, which is 3,000 units. Is that clear, my dear friends? Yes or no, please? Yes, sir. Please confirm. So supply, if I revise it in Hindi, supply means not which the producer is having in godown. Supply वो नहीं है जो producer के पास godown में है. Supply वो है जो producer godown से निकाल कर market में लाके बेचने के लिए तैयार है. Supply वो नहीं है जो producer के पास godown में है. Supply वो है जो producer market से लाकर निकालने के लिए तैयार है. Market में लाके बेचने के लिए तैयार है. That is supply. So remember, my dear friends, supply is the quantity. Supply is the quantity which the producers are willing to bring to the market for sale at a particular price at a particular point of time. At a particular price at a particular point of time. What is supply? I will repeat, I will revise once again. Okay. Supply is the quantity of a commodity which the producer is ready to bring to the market for sale at a particular price at a particular point of time. ये वो quantity है जो supplier market में लाकर बेचने के लिए तैयार है. It is the quantity which the supplier is ready to bring to the market for sale at a particular price at a particular point of time. So let's say if a seller in her or his godown is having 10,000 units. If they are ready to bring only 3,000 in the market, therefore the supply is 3,000 units, not 10,000. If at a particular price they are only ready to bring 3,000 units, supply will be 3,000 units, not 10,000 units. I believe it's crystal clear, mates. Yes or no, please? Yes, sir. It's crystal clear. Fantastic. Fantastic. So now there I cleared you stock versus supply. So stock is what you are having in your godown, in your factory. Supply is what you are ready to sell from your godown, sell from your godown, from your factory, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Is that so, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that is so. So, sir, we get it. We get it, sir. So now my question is very simple. Now my question to you is very simple. MCQ question. Supply refers to quantity of commodity which producers are willing to sell at a particular price, at a particular time, both A and B, or none of the above. What do you think is the answer, friends? What do you think is the answer, friends? Come on, guys. Okay, great. So yes, both A and B is the correct answer. Remember, supply is a flow concept as it's constantly changing. Supply is a flow concept. Supply is a flow concept because it is specified for a time period. It is specified for a time period, right? For example, let's say, for example, if you see Shark Tank, has any of you seen Shark Tank? I asked it a few days back as well. If you see, the sharks will ask the contestant, what is your factory production capacity per day or per month or per year? So whenever you are able to express something in the form of per month or per day or per year, that means it will be a flow concept because it is specified in respect to a certain time period, certain time frame, per day, per month, per year. And therefore, remember, supply is a flow concept. Supply is a flow concept. Supply is a flow concept. Please remember. Okay. So supply is a flow concept. Yes, sir. And in demand, you all know, I told you that in demand, when you think from consumer's point of view, demand focuses on both the things. Number one, ability to buy and willingness to buy. Okay. Similarly, I will say this for supply. Supply is also again the two things: willingness to sell and readiness to sell. Supply is also these two things. You are able to sell at that particular price, so there must be ability to sell at that price, and there must also be willingness to sell at that particular price. Both of them together will comprise supply. And what concept is supply? Another MCQ from my side. I am not writing it down, just an MCQ question. Supply is a dash concept. Option A, stock concept. Option B, flow concept. Option C, both. Option D, none. What concept is supply? Come on, you all tell me. What is supply? Which kind of concept is it? A, stock. B, flow. C, both. D, none. What say, guys? Come on, tell me. Absolutely correct. If I say Aditya, RN, Shreya, Mehak, Pragati, yes, Priyanka, Manisha, all right. You people are correct in saying your answer, and therefore I agree. You all are absolutely correct. It is a flow concept. Why? Because it is specified with respect to a particular time period. The time period could be expressed in the form of, let's say, per day. It could be expressed in the form of, let's say, per month. It could be expressed in the form of, let's say, per year. It could be expressed in the form of, let's say, per quarter. Whatever form it can be expressed as. It is a flow concept. I will tell you. It's a flow concept. Okay. It's not both. Supply is a flow concept. Okay. Got it, sir. Now see. Factors affecting supply, or we are studying determinants of supply. Factors affecting supply, or we are studying determinants of supply. Factors affecting supply or determinants of supply. So what factors cause a change in supply? What factors impact supply? Like we studied determinants of demand, you are right. We are studying determinants of supply. Okay, sir? So, sir, we are ready. Please tell us. Please teach us. Okay, sir. So, my dear friends, if you talk about the factors affecting supply, number one factor is price of own commodity. What is the number one factor? Price of own commodity. Now think carefully. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Okay. Suppose cost remaining constant. Okay. Cost and other factors remaining constant. Let other factors like cost remaining constant. Okay. Now tell me, you are a supplier of bags. Okay. Bags. You are supplying leather bags or some kind of bags. Okay. Now you have two options: to sell the bags at 200 rupees or to sell the bags at 700 rupees. At what price will you be ready to sell more quantity? At what price will you be ready to sell more quantity? At 200 or 700? Obviously, all of you will say, sir, this is not even a question. Obviously, sir, our answer has to be, 700 rupees. Our answer has to be 700 rupees. Why our answer has to be 700 rupees? Because at 700 you will be benefited more. You are, what did I say? मैंने आपको क्या कहा? You will have to think from producer's perspective. Now don't think about the consumer. Think from the producer's perspective. Forget about consumer. As a producer, where is your profit maximized? Sir, at 700 rupees. So the answer is 700. Don't think about the consumer. My warning. Don't think about the consumer. When you study supply, you're only thinking from producer's point of view. Okay. Correct. Got it, sir. Sir, we got it, sir. So that's what I'm trying to say. That when you talk about supply, you will always talk from producer's point of view, and higher the price, higher the quantity supplied. Why? Why is it so, sir? Why is it so, sir? Reason: more profits. Because more the price, more is the profit. And yes, don't tell me that, sir, it can be because of rising costs. No. I have told now other factors remaining constant. So if price is rising, it implies cost is not rising. It implies that cost is same, rise in price resulting in rise in profit margin. Rise in price resulting in rise in profit margin. That is what we are going to assume. अच्छा. So sir, please explain it in Hindi. आज अपने कमोडिटी को कब बेसी बेचने को तैयार होंगे? जब प्राइस ज्यादा होगा तब, क्योंकि जब प्राइस ज्यादा होगा प्रॉफिट मार्जिन बढ़ेगा. ज्यादा प्रॉफिट मार्जिन का मतलब है क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड बढ़ेगा. बस दैट्स इट. सो सर, यू आर टेलिंग देयर इज अ डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप हियर. यस, देयर इज अ डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप एट प्ले हियर. Direct relationship means, or we can also say it to be positive relationship. We can also say it to be positive relationship, which says a rise in price results in rise in profit, which results in rise in quantity supplied. Similarly, a fall in price results in fall in profit, resulting in fall in quantity supplied. Yes, there is a direct relationship here. I hope it's clear. And so supply curve here will be what? Upward sloping from left to right or downward sloping? Upward sloping. Yes, you guessed it right. It's like this, upward sloping. Sir, can you help us out? Like, how did we plot this? Okay, I am helping you out. Pay attention, friends. I'll help you out. Pay attention, friends. Okay, sir. So see. Suppose. If this is the price, pay attention, guys. If this is the price, P1, and this is the quantity Q1, where is the price and quantity intersecting? So obviously at this point, suppose price rises to P2, then quantity is rising to Q2. So where is the new supply? Here. And therefore, if you look carefully, Therefore, if you look carefully and you draw them, you will see this kind of direct relationship being there. That is upward sloping curve. Remember, demand was downward sloping from left to right. Demand was downward sloping, supply is upward sloping. So a very important conclusion indeed, that supply curve is, remember, that supply curve is what sloping? Yes, sir, you guessed it right. Supply curve is indeed upward sloping curve, is indeed upward sloping curve. Yes, sir, it is crystal clear to us. So let's put it aside. Let's put it aside. Now let me ask you a question. Now let me ask you a simple question, okay? So please answer this to me. My question is here. My question is here. It's an MCQ question, so pay attention, everybody. The question is, if price rises, quantity will what? If there is a quantity will what? If quantity will be what? Option A, quantity supplied will rise. B, quantity demanded will fall. C, both A and B. D, none. D, none. Come on, guys. Tell me the answer. If price rises, what will happen to quantity? Quantity supplied will rise. Quantity demanded will fall. Both will happen or none will happen. What say, guys? Come on, everybody. Think carefully, huh? If you are in a hurry, you might make mistakes. Let's see who is giving the correct answer. Let's see who is giving the correct answer to this one. Let's hear it out from you all. Yes. As I can clearly see, Surya, your answer is correct, dear Surya. Arpi, your answer is correct. All right. Shreya, your answer is correct. All right, sir. So my dear friends, let me answer this for you all. My dear friends, let me answer this for you all. Your answer will be C. Yes, supply will rise because price and quantity supply is directly related. And yes, demand will fall. Price and quantity are inversely related. So therefore, you must write both A and B, just not one of them. Yes, Manish, correct. Yes, sir, we get it, sir. So there it is. That is your answer. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. Achha. Remember, while we study this, while we study price and quantity relationship, we assume other factors to be constant. Other factors to be constant. Other factors to be constant. This is also written as ceteris paribus. What is it also written as? Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus. You know, I oftentimes when I used to study, it would, when I would say ceteris paribus, it would seem to me like a Harry Potter magic spell, right? But in reality, it is not. It means it's a Latin for other factors remaining constant. Ceteris paribus means other factors remaining constant. Means when you are studying price and supply relationship, don't think that any other factor will affect supply. In order to ensure that, we take this assumption. Remember, other factors remaining constant is very important assumption. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So therefore, we can say, see, if price rises, quantity supplied, profit margin rises, so will rise. But why will demand fall? Obviously, if product becomes expensive, consumer will not buy it now. And therefore, both A and B. Got it? So demand will fall. All right. Now, the second factor affecting supply. The second factor affecting supply. It is the price of related goods. My question to you all, price of other goods, or you could say related goods. Okay. Now my question to you is very simple. Okay. Pay attention, guys. Suppose you all will answer and the concept will be absolutely crystal clear. Okay. Tell me the answer. My question is, it's not an MCQ, it's just a real life question. Suppose you are in the business of bags, but you have leather as raw material, So if needed, you can also manufacture belts. Okay, waist belts. Now pay attention. You see that price of bags is rather constant. You are a supplier of bags presently. Presently, you are a supplier of bags. But you see that price of belts is rising. So the profit margin on belts is rising. As a producer, what you will want to do with bags? Will you keep producing more of bags, or you will reduce the production of bags and move to production of belts? Please know that profit margin in belts is rising because prices are rising. You all tell me what will be the answer. You all tell me what will be the answer. I will repeat my question. You are in the business of producing bags as well as belts. आपका bags का भी काम है, belts का भी काम है. अब bags का जो प्राइस है वो कांस्टेंट है, belts का प्राइस बढ़ने लग रहा है. तो what will you do? You all tell me. What will you do? Yes, very good, very good. People are saying, sir. Yes, Vaishnavi is correct. Yes, Ashutosh. So my dear friends, you all are correct that we will move from bags to belt. So this is what I'm saying, that if price of related commodities, if price of related commodities is rising, if price of related commodities is rising, then quantity supplied of the present commodity, that is the commodity whose business the producer is in, like for bags, for example, here, then quantity supplied of the present commodity, then quantity supplied of the present commodity will what happen? Fall. So with related goods, we see an inverse kind of relation, because the producer will always prefer to shift to some other commodity there. They will always prefer to shift to some other commodity there. I believe it's crystal clear, friends. Yes, sir. So two factors we have studied. Let's revise those two factors. Number one, price of own commodity. So when price of own commodity rises, other factors remaining constant, quantity supplied will rise. When price rises, quantity supplied will rise. When price falls, quantity supplied will fall. Case one. Case two, when price of related commodities is rising, when price of related commodities is rising, then the present commodity whose supply or whose business the producer is currently in, they will rather prefer to supply it less and move to that commodity, which is resulting in greater price, hence greater profits. My dear friend, is it crystal clear? We have summarized it. We have summarized it. We have summarized it. So to conclude, my dear friends, can I be a little super fast? Yes, sir, go ahead. So my dear friends, till now what we have studied, I am summarizing. Number one, we have studied that quantity supplied is the quantity with the producer willing to sell at a particular price at a particular point of time. Okay. Then we have studied that there are many factors affecting supply, two of which we have studied. Number one is price of own commodity, and number two is price of related commodities. In case of price of own commodity, there's a direct relationship between the two, and when we talk about price of related commodities, there's inverse relationship between the two. Guys, is it revised? Did you understand the faster version as well? Yes, sir. We understood the faster version as well. If you have understood the faster version, congrats. Now let's move on to the third point. Okay. Now let's move on to the third point. Before I move on to the third point, why don't you answer me a MCQ question again? Why don't you answer me a MCQ question again? I'm asking you an MCQ question again. So please answer this to me. Okay. The question is, see, the question is, if price of tea rises, अगर टी महंगा हो रहा है, if price of tea rises, अगर टी महंगा हो रहा है, what will the producer of coffee do? The producer of coffee will, option A, increase supply of tea. Number one. Number two, increase supply of coffee. Number two. Number three, decrease supply of coffee. Or number four, both A and C. Both A and C. What do you think is the correct answer? What do you think is the correct answer? Come on, friends. Come on, friends. What do you think will be the answer? Yes, you all are absolutely correct. My dear friends, see, if price of tea rises, then producer of coffee will find it more beneficial to rather increase the production of tea in their plantation. And therefore, this is correct. But simultaneously, they will not only shift to tea, they will also reduce the production of coffee, isn't it? So both A and C will be the typical impact. Both A and C will be the typical impact. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. You are absolutely correct. Now, friends, moving on to the next point, which is price of inputs. Price of inputs. Price of inputs or factors of production. Okay. So when we talk about price of inputs or factor of production, what do we study? See, price of input or factor of production. When we talk about these things, very easy. Please pay attention, everyone. It is very easy. When you talk about price of inputs or factor of production, price of a product is rupees. When price is rupees 10, so sir, what is the profit margin? But now you will tell me one thing, guys. If let's say the cost is reducing to rupees 4 to rupees 6 because price remains constant. Factor you will assume that price is 10 and cost is 4. So obviously, when there is a reduction in cost, profit margin is rising. Whenever it will rise, whenever there is a reduction in cost, basic logic will rise. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Just a moment. Just a moment, friends. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. So let's continue. Let's continue, guys. Okay. So now let's continue. What is the next thing? So I will repeat again price of inputs. I will revise it again price of inputs. Okay. So suppose we are producing bags. Let's say the bags are at a particular price of 700. Now what is happening is labor and what will be the profit margin? Sir, profit margin is 300. I am repeating point 3. Okay, we are discussing price of input or cost of inputs. Price of inputs or cost of inputs. Okay, we are discussing that one. So when, my dear friends, the inputs, pay attention please, when the inputs cost is reducing, let's say for example bag, the labor cost is 200, the rent cost is 200. So what is the profit margin? Out of 700, 300 is the profit margin. Now suppose labor is becoming expensive. From 200 it has become 300. The rent has become expensive, 200 to 300. So the cost is rising. The cost is rising. The cost is rising. Whenever the cost is rising, what will happen to the profit margin? Sir, profit margin will fall from 300 to 100. Profit margin will fall from 300 to 100. Profit margin will fall from 300 to 100. So whenever cost is rising, profit margin is falling. Whenever cost is rising, profit margin is falling. Whenever cost is rising, profit margin is falling. This relationship shows inverse relationship. What does it show, friends? In inputs and the profit margin and hence the supply. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, yes. So I will revise the third point again. मैं third point फिर revise कर रहा हूँ both in English and Hindi. Simply speaking, we are discussing that whenever the input price is going up, producer's profit margin is going down, and so quantity supplied is going down. So sir, you are telling there is an inverse relationship here. Yes, this is what I am saying. जब भी सामान महंगा होगा बनाना, प्रोड्यूसर का प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कम होगा, क्योंकि प्राइस तो कांस्टेंट है, जिसकी वजह से क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड गिरेगा, जिसकी वजह से क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड कम होगा. अगर प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कम होगा तो क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड भी कम होगा, क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड भी डिक्रीज होगा. क्या पॉइंट 3 क्लियर है? इस पॉइंट 3 क्लियर फ्रेंड्स? वी विल गो वेरी स्लो, डोंट वरी, वेरी स्लो वी विल गो. यस सर, yes sir, yes sir. If you are confident, then I will move forward. Okay, yes sir. So it's crystal clear, sir. Now moving on to the next point, which is state of technology, which is state of technology. What does state of technology tell us? State of technology can be either advanced or it can be old. Okay, state of technology can be advanced or it can be old. Advanced means new technology. Advanced means, my dear friends, new technology. Advanced means new technology. Obsolete means old technology. You all tell me. If you are using new technology, you all tell me. I will not explain anything. You all tell me. If you are using new technology, what do you think will happen to supply? Will the supply rise or fall? Obviously, sir, the fact that we have shifted to new technology is because we are getting some benefit. The benefit is that we will be able to supply more. So new technology, more supply. Old technology, low supply. Yes or no, friends? Yes, sir, correct. Yes, sir, correct. New technology, the better the technology, more the supply. The better the technology, greater the supply. The older the technology, lesser the supply. The older the technology, lesser the supply. Yes, sir. Very good. Very good, sir. So we have studied 4 points. Let me summarize it for you in Hindi. Then we will talk about it further. First, an MCQ. First, an MCQ. Mrs. B discovers that input price of her product is rising. So Mrs. B has discovered that input price of her product is rising. Input cost is rising. What do you think will be the impact on supply? Supply will rise, fall, cannot be said, or none. Obviously, other factors remaining constant. What do you think will be the answer? Come on, everyone. क्या लगता है आप लोगों को? अगर इनपुट बढ़ा है तो मिसेस बी के बिजनेस का सप्लाई क्या होगा? बढ़ेगा, घटेगा, क्या होगा? Right, absolutely. You all are saying that, sir, if input price has risen, profit margin will reduce, and so quantity supplied will decrease. That's right. B is the correct answer to this. B is the correct answer to this. Very good, everybody. Correct answer, everyone. Okay. So see, we are constantly solving MCQs here. You all are able to understand. Okay. So I will summarize all the 4 points. Are we ready? Yes, sir. Point 1 was on price of the commodity, where there was direct relationship. So if price was rising, profit margin was rising, and so quantity supplied was rising. Number 2, the second point was, after the first point, that is on price, second point was price of related commodities. So if related commodities are becoming expensive, producer will shift to them as they are benefiting out of that. They are making more profits out of that. The third one would be input prices. So if input prices are rising, right, profit margins are reducing, so quantity supplied will fall. The next one is state of technology. So if technology becomes more advanced, quantity supplied will rise. And if technology is not advanced, it is poor, quantity supplied will fall. There is your answer. Okay, sir. We have summarized all the 4 points. So every friend must be clear with all of these, right? Okay. Sir, why don't you ask another question to us? Okay. Let's ask another question to you. Mr. A and Mr. B are in printing business. Okay. Mr. A and Mr. B are in what business, sir? They are in printing business. Okay. So Mr. A is using obsolete machine. Obsolete means purana machine. Okay. Old machine. While Mr. B is using latest technology. सबसे नई technology. Who do you think will have lesser supply? सप्लाई कम किसका होगा, ए का, बी का, दोनों का, या किसी का भी नहीं? इज इट ए, इज इट बी, इज इट बोथ, और इज इट नन? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? व्हाट डू यू थिंक फ्रेंड्स? That's right. Absolutely. I can see all your answers and you all are correct. The answer is, sir, C. Mr. A is using obsolete machine while B is using latest. So who do you think will supply less? The one who is using obsolete technology. So the answer will be Mr. A here. Mr. A here. Why? Because he is using an older technology, a lesser technology. Yes or no, friends? Yes, sir, indeed. Sir, we get it, sir. Sir, we get it, sir. Now moving on, sir. Next point is government policy. Next point is government policy. Now pay attention, friends. Pay attention, friends. Government policy can be divided into two parts. Government policy can be divided into two parts. Let me explain to you each one of them. Okay. Let me explain to you each one of them. So pay attention and listen carefully. Okay. Yes, sir. See, government policies are divided into taxes, or government will give us subsidy. Now, what happens because of taxes? The cost will rise. Taxes increase the cost. Because of taxes, cost rises. Because of imposition of taxes, cost rises. But because of providing subsidy, the cost will fall. Because of provision of subsidy, the cost will fall. Yes or no, friends? Yes, sir. Because suppose now, you think now, suppose price is 10 rupees. Suppose price is 10 rupees. So if cost is 4 rupees, if cost is 4 rupees, okay, profit margin is 3 rupees and tax is 3 rupees. So see, profit margin is only 3 rupees here. Cost is 4 and tax is 3. So tax is nothing but a cost, right? But pay attention. If government reduces the tax, then what will happen? Suppose the tax is now 2 rupees. Cost is again 4 rupees. So now my profit margin has improved from 3 rupees to 4 rupees. So what does it mean? If taxes is reduced by the government, if taxes is reduced by the government, profit margin will rise. And so quantity supplied will rise. So as far as, my dear friends, taxes are concerned, taxes, which is one of the policies of the government, will have inverse relationship. Will have inverse relationship with quantity supplied. Taxes will have inverse relationship with quantity supplied. So if taxes are rising, product will become expensive, quantity supplied is falling. Contrary to that, if taxes are falling, quantity supplied will rise because profit margin is getting better and better. Sir, we get it. Now let's talk about subsidy. What goes about subsidy? My dear friends, subsidy is an opposite of tax. So just like in tax, the cost is rising, in subsidy, the cost is rather falling. In subsidy, the cost is rather falling. So I'll give you an example. Let's say a product is costing rupees 5 to the farmer. Now government is telling that government will bear 2 rupees. So that means that farmer will have to bear only 3 rupees. So for that farmer or for that producer, the cost has reduced because of subsidy. So profit margin will rise. So what do you mean, sir? Simply speaking, if government is giving more subsidy, cost will fall. I will write it down here. If government is giving more subsidy, so that will mean what? That means cost of the producer will fall. So profit will rise. And if profit rises, you all are correct. Quantity supplied will rise. So for subsidy, there is a direct relationship with supply. For taxes, there is an inverse relationship with supply. Rise in subsidy means lesser cost. Rise in subsidy means lesser cost. And so more quantity supplied. Yes or no, friends? Yes or no, friends? Now, sir, what is subsidy? One of our friends is asking, what is subsidy? Okay, I'll give you an example. What is subsidy? Good question. I will help you. Don't worry. See, my dear friends, what happens now? In some essential commodities, what happens is, suppose a farmer, the product that farmer is producing is essential. Now suppose price of the product is 10 rupees. In this 10 rupees, okay, farmer's cost is 6 rupees and farmer's profit is 4 rupees. For example, now what government tells is subsidy is just the opposite of tax. What does tax do? Tax increases the cost of product, subsidy reduces the cost of product. Now government tells that government is giving subsidy. What does it mean? It means that this farmer will not have to incur 6 on their own. Let's say government is giving subsidy of rupees 3. So it means that out of rupees 6, 3 will be borne by the government, 3 by the farmer. So in reality, farmer's cost has gone down from 6 rupees to 3, because of which profit will go up from 3 rupees to, whatever was the amount, from that amount to 7 rupees. So subsidy reduces the cost of the product. Government is bearing the cost. This happens only in case of some essential items. And so quantity supplied rises, because more subsidy means lesser cost. Lesser cost means more profit. More profit means more supply. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So fifth point we have understood. Okay. Yes, sir. So this you can write down. Like a rise in taxes leads to rise in cost. So the quantity supplied will fall. Similarly, a rise in subsidy leads to fall in cost, leads to rise in quantity supplied, leading to rise in quantity supplied. I hope that's crystal clear. Yes, sir. It's crystal clear, sir. Moving on. Now, if you talk about this, friends. Yes. Nature and size of industry. Now, nature and size of industry. A very interesting case. So, if there are many businesses, if there are many competitions, if there are many competitors, let's say, then what will happen to quantity supplied? It will be more, because more suppliers, more supply, less number of suppliers, less supply. What is there to think about here? Yes or no, friends? If there are more suppliers, the supply will be rather more. If there are lesser suppliers, the supply would be rather less. Yes, sir, we totally agree. This is what I was telling you. A very easy case. If simply speaking, if more is the, pay attention everybody, if more is the price of commodity, more is the supply. Now here, if more are the suppliers, then more will be the supply, because more suppliers means greater quantity produced. I hope it's crystal clear. Let's move on to the next MCQ question. Okay. There is a government, they have decided to impose 20% tax. The government has decided to impose 20% tax on some production of leather items. So government has imposed the tax on leather. Government has imposed the tax on leather. You will tell me what will happen to quantity supplied. Will the quantity supplied, because of the imposition of tax, will the quantity supplied of leather rise? Will the quantity supply of leather fall? Will it result in no change? Or you cannot say. It can't be said. What do you believe, my dear friends, will be the answer? Come on, friends. Absolutely correct. That more the taxes, more the cost means lesser the profit. Lesser the profit means lesser the supply. Very simple. And so what will happen to quantity supplied? Quantity supplied will fall, or I would say quantity supplied will reduce. Yes, sir. Okay, great. Now, my dear friends, I'm explaining another factor, that is expectation of the producers regarding future prices. Suppose, my dear friends, you are a seller of a commodity, let's say furniture, okay? There is a piece of furniture, there are many pieces, which is presently priced at rupees 1,000 per unit. But you think that 1 month later, its price will go up to rupees 1,500. So what will you do? Will you supply more today, or will you supply less today? What will you do? Talk about today. Don't talk about tomorrow. Talk about today. What is your thinking? Your thinking is that price of furniture will go up in the future. What do you think you will do? What do you think you will do? Just answer me this question. If अगर आपको लग रहा है कि एक सामान जो आपके पास 1000 रुपए का आज बिक रहा है, ये एक महीने के बाद 1500 का हो जाएगा, तो आप आज क्या करना पसंद करेंगे? आज आप सप्लाई बढ़ाएंगे, घटाएंगे, कुछ नहीं करेंगे? क्या करेंगे आप एग्जैक्टली? आपको क्या लग रहा है कि फ्यूचर में फर्नीचर का प्राइसेस बढ़ेगा? यस, यू विल सप्लाई लेस टुडे. द आंसर इज आज अपने कम सप्लाई करेंगे. व्हाई? बिकॉज वी विल कीप दिस फर्नीचर. आज जो मेरे पास फर्नीचर है, द फर्नीचर दैट आई एम हैविंग टुडे, I will sell it for 1000 if I sell it today. But if I wait for 1 month, that same piece of furniture will fetch me 1500 rupees. So I will supply less today. So if producer is expecting that in future prices will rise, in future prices will rise, in future prices will rise, so they will start supplying less today so that they can sell it later on. They will start stocking the commodity. They will start keeping the stock of commodities so that they can sell it at a later date at a much higher price if they're expecting a rise in price. So if the future expectation, so to sum it up, if the future expectation is that price will rise in the future, what will happen to quantity supplied? Quantity supplied will fall in the present. This is expectation of future price. This is the current quantity. Just the opposite here. If you are expecting, you means a seller is expecting that in future a price of a commodity will fall. Now they are worried that if this don't sell the entire stock today, they might run into losses tomorrow. So the quantity supplied at present will rise. So there is an inverse relationship with the future expectation. So if future expectation is rise in price, current action will be decrease in quantity. And if the future expectation is fall in price, current action will be increase in quantity supplied. Is that crystal clear, mates? Inverse relationship. Inverse relationship, inverse relationship. Yes or no, mates? Yes. It's very similar to the demand chapter. I told you. That's why when I started this chapter, I told must study demand. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir. So my dear friends, my simple question to you is a very simple question I have for you. So please answer this. Please answer this. Okay. Please answer this. Okay. The question is, price of A is rupees 10. Price of A has to be a commodity. Okay. And has been rising for a while. B is a competitive producer of A. Okay. So competitive product of A. Okay, B is a competitive product of A. How will the supplier of B react? Okay, so B and A are competitive products. How will the supplier of B react if price of B, if price of B will reduce? So your answer will be obviously, sir, if price of B is reducing at the present, the producer will shift to increasing supply of A. So the answer will be increased supply of A if price of B is going to reduce, fall down in the future. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my dear friends, these were the 7 to 8 major factors that we studied. Is that crystal clear, mates? Yes or no, please? Should I summarize it for you all? Yes or no, please? Yes, yes, yes. What say? So shall we revise the entire thing? Okay. So following are the factors affecting supply. Number 1, own price of the commodity. Number 2, price of inputs. Number 3, price of the related commodities. Number 4, government policy. Number 5, number of firms. Number 6, expectations regarding the future prices. And then again, one of the things is number of, state of technology in the market. How is the technology in the market? These are some 7 important factors that I think you must remember. Okay. So if I have summarized it in a slow speed, should we summarize it in a faster speed? Yes or no? So that everything is clear one by one. Yes or no? Yes or no, please. Come on. Shall we? Are you ready for a summary at faster pace? Okay, sir. So now, if all of us are ready, let's go ahead with it. So, my dear friends, there are 7 factors affecting supply. But before that, let's define what is supply. So, quantity supplied is the quantity with the producer willing to bring to the market for sale at a particular price at a particular point of time. Now, there are 7 factors affecting it. Number 1 is own price of the commodity. Number 2 is price of related commodities. Number 3 is cost of input. Number 4 is government technology. Number 4 is technology. Number 5 is government policy. Number 6 is number of firms. And number 7 is expectations regarding future prices. If own price rises, quantity supplied will rise. Other factors remaining constant. If price of input rises, quantity supplied. If price of input rises, then the profit margin will fall, and therefore quantity supplied will again rise. If so, therefore, if price of input rises, quantity supplied will fall because profit margin is falling. If price of related commodity is rising, producer will prefer that over the current commodity, so they will shift to that commodity. If technology is better, new, quantity supplied will rise. If technology is obsolete, it will fall. If taxes are increased, quantity supplied will fall. If taxes are decreased, quantity supplied will rise. If subsidy is increased, quantity supplied will rise. If subsidy is reduced, quantity supplied will fall. If the number of firms is high, quantity supplied will rise. If the number of firms is less, quantity supplied will fall. And as far as the number of firms are concerned, more the firms, greater the supply. Expectation regarding future prices. If the producer is expecting future prices to rise, present quantity supplied will fall. And if the producer is expecting the prices to fall in the future, present quantity supplied will rise. My dear friends, I have summarized all the 7 points. Is that crystal clear? Yes or no, please? Yes or no, please? Shall we start law of supply? Shall we start law of supply, friends? If you all are ready. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead, sir. Great, sir. So now let's talk about quantity supply. All right. I mean the law of supply at least. Law of supply we have already done. What does law of supply say? Law of supply tells us that if price of a commodity rises, quantity supplied will rise. Why? We discussed now, because profit margin is rising. Yes. This is the law of supply. Remember to write other factors remaining constant. Remember to write other factors remaining constant. Remember to write other factors remaining constant. Remember, if government is giving subsidy, price will fall. I mean, price of the commodity, cost of making the commodity will fall, and therefore profit margin rises. So more subsidy means government is bearing the cost. Arey Baba, if government is bearing your cost is less, so profit is more, so price quantity supplied is more. Understood? Now coming back to this topic, what does law of supply say? Law of supply tells that there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Okay, so if more is the price, more is the quantity supplied. If lesser is the price, lesser is the quantity supplied. There is a direct relationship. Remember to write the word other factors remaining constant. Remember to write the word other factors remaining constant, or instead of this, you can write ceteris paribus, both of which are absolutely correct. There is no mistake whatsoever. Okay? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, we have understood. We have understood. This is how a typical upward sloping supply curve looks like. And this is an individual supply schedule. What is a schedule, sir? Schedule in economics, my dear friends, means table. Schedule in economics, my dear friends, means table. What does schedule mean? Schedule means table. So more the price, more the quantity supplied. That's the direct relationship. And so as you keep plotting it again and again, you will see a upward sloping curve, which is your supply curve. Which is your supply curve. This upward sloping curve will be your supply curve. Got it, sir? Got it, sir? Now, my dear friends, remember, there are two concepts of supply, individual supply as well as market supply. So let me explain you both, individual supply as well as market supply. Okay, I hope all of us are ready for the same. Individual supply as well as market supply. Okay, sir, please go ahead. Pay attention, friends. Individual supply and market supply. All right. Okay, sir. Suppose this is Mr. A. Quantity supplied by Mr. A. Okay. The price of a commodity is 10. Quantity supplied is 100. Price is 20. Quantity supplied 150. Price is 30. Quantity supplied is 200. This is just regard to Mr. A. Let's introduce into the picture another hero, Mr. B. Now quantity supplied of Mr. B. When price is 10, quantity supplied is 50. When price is 20, quantity supplied is 100. When price is 30, quantity supplied is, let's say, 200. Let's say. So when you talk about this, that is about individual supplier. That concept is called individual supply. Quantity which the individual producer is willing to sell at different prices. That is individual supply schedule. Okay. What is market supply? Here you add more than one producer. So let's say there is producer A, there is producer B. Now add. So quantity supplied in the market, you can keep 3 producers as well. You know, at least 2 and more than 2. So if you add them up, 100 plus 50 is going to give you 150. Similarly, 150 plus 100 is going to give you 250, and 200 plus 200 and 200 plus 200 is going to give you what? Is going to give you 400. So my dear friends, this relationship that we see, this supply curve that we see between price and market, that is market supply. This is market supply schedule. So when you add more than one supplier and add up their supplies, that becomes market supply. Sir, this is just like individual demand and market demand. Isn't it, sir? Yes, sir. You all are correct. Absolutely like that. Even not like, it is exactly that only. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Yes, sir. It's crystal clear. Now let's see. Let's talk about movement and supply. Let's talk about movement and supply. Movement and shift, I would say. Not movement and supply. Let's talk about movement and shift. Let's talk about movement and shift. Okay. So let's talk about it, sir. What is movement? What is shift? Sir, this though we have done there also. Yes, similar thing is going on here. Pay attention. My dear friends, movement is also called change in quantity supplied, while shift is also called change in supply. Please pay attention. Please focus. Movement is also called change in quantity supplied. Shift is also called change in supply. Movement is also called changes quantity supplied. Shift is also called change in supply. Is that so, sir? Yes, that is so, friends. Let's go about it. So when there is a rise or fall in supply due to own price of the commodity. So remember, my dear friends, pay attention, my dear friends. If the rise or fall in supply is taking place due to own price of the commodity, is taking place due to own price of the commodity, is taking place due to, whenever rise or fall is taking place due to own price of the commodity, that is movement. That is movement. Whenever rise or fall is taking place due to own price of the commodity, that is movement. But whenever there is a rise or fall in quantity supplied due to other factors, own price remaining constant. Due to other factors, own price remaining constant, that, my dear friends, is what we call as shift in supply. That is, my dear friends, what we call as shift in supply. So remember, when we talk about movement, it is due to own price. Supply, shift is due to other factors, own price remaining constant. Shift is due to other factors, own price remaining constant. Shift is due to other factors, own price remaining constant. Is that so, sir? Yes, that is so, sir. Is that, sir? Yes, sir. So when there is a rise or fall in quantity supplied, pay attention, friends. Whenever there is a rise or fall, pay attention. Whenever there is a rise or fall in quantity supplied due to own price of the commodity. Due to what? Due to own price of the commodity, other factors remaining constant, then we are talking about movement. But whenever there is a rise in fall in quantity supplied due to other factors, not the own price is silent here, chup chap here, दैट इज चेंज इन सप्लाई और शिफ्ट ऑफ सप्लाई। सर हिंदी में बताइए, कभी भी अगर क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड बढ़ता है या घटता है, बढ़ता है या घटता है, किसकी वजह से? खुद की प्राइस की वजह से, तो हम लोग उसे मूवमेंट कहते हैं। बट कभी भी क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड अगर बढ़ता है या घटता है खुद की प्राइस की वजह से नहीं, किसी और कारण की वजह से, बिकॉज हम लोगों ने तो 7-8 फैक्टर्स पढ़े हैं, उन प्राइस को छोड़ के कोई भी और फैक्टर जैसे प्राइस ऑफ रिलेटेड कमोडिटीज अफेक्ट अगर करता है सप्लाई को, वी कॉल इट शिफ्ट इन सप्लाई। उम्मीद है सबको क्रिस्टल क्लियर है बातें यहां तक? हाँ जी सर, क्लियर। Now let's come back. Now let's come back to the two types of movement. Remember, my dear friends, when you talk about movement, movement can be expansion or contraction. So in expansion or extension, the rise in price leads to rise in quantity supplied. In movement, the rise in price, in expansion in particular, my dear friends, the rise in price leads to rise in quantity supplied, or the fall in price leads to fall in quantity supplied. Okay. And in contraction, that is what I talked about, fall. So in expansion, we talk about the rise. The rise due to what? In expansion, there is a rise in quantity supplied due to what? Everybody must answer. In expansion, there is a rise in quantity supplied due to what? Answer it. I will not answer it. Come on, everyone. In expansion, there is a rise in quantity supplied due to what? Yes, absolutely correct. So in expansion, there is a rise in quantity supplied due to own price of the commodity. So there is a rise in price. Due to rise in price, quantity supplied is rising. That is expansion. In contraction, the quantity supplied is falling. Why? Because own price has reduced. Since own price has reduced, profit margin has reduced. Since own price has reduced, profit margin has reduced. Since own price has reduced, profit margin has reduced, and therefore quantity supplied has fallen down. And therefore quantity supplied has fallen down. Absolutely correct. But my dear friends, when we talk about shift, there are two kinds. Number one is increase in supply. Number two, there is decrease in supply. So if there is a rise in supply, that is increase. If there is a fall in supply, that is decrease. Remember, own price constant. So what is the reason? Suppose technology is new, so supply will rise, that is increase. Technology is old, supply will fall, that is decrease. Be very careful. Don't use the word increase, decrease. Use the word always rise and fall. Because suppose if you use the word that when price rises, quantity increases, teacher will give you 0. Increases is only because of other factors, not because of own price. So the word of increase and decrease cannot be used both in demand and supply whenever you talk about own price. Don't use the word increase, decrease in supply or demand whenever own price is being talked about. Always use the word rise or fall. Is that clear? कभी भी अगर ओन प्राइस का बात हो तो चाहे डिमांड का चैप्टर हो या सप्लाई का, याद रखिएगा कि आप इंक्रीज डिक्रीज वर्ड यूज करने से बचे, क्योंकि इंक्रीज डिक्रीज ओन प्राइस की वजह से नहीं होता, राइज और फॉल होता है ओन प्राइस की वजह से। इस गलती से अपने बचेंगे, यस यस, इट्स क्रिस्टल क्लियर। Now my dear friends, okay sir. Now my dear friends, remember, if you talk about diagram, I will help you with the diagram. Pay attention here. Expansion, we are drawing the diagram of what? We are drawing the diagram of expansion. Okay, so if price is this, quantity is this. Now obviously you all will agree that when price is rising, quantity is rising, so the new intersection is taking place here. Yes or no? That is so, sir. And if you join them out, and if you join them up, isn't there an upward movement that you felt? Yes. So in expansion, there is an upward movement. Remember, in expansion of demand, there was a downward movement. In expansion of demand, there was a downward movement. In expansion of supply, there is an upward movement. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. 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 Now let's move on. Let's move on. If you talk about contraction, if you talk about contraction, in contraction, what happens is, my dear friends, again, if P1 is here, Q1 is here. If price is falling, quantity is falling. So the curve is like this. So there is a downward movement. So in contraction, there is downward movement along the same curve. Remember, that is contraction of supply. In contraction of demand, there was an upward movement along the same curve. Please remember this. Please do not forget this. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. Now, if you talk about increase and decrease, if there is an increase in quantity supplied, there is a rightward shift. If there is a decrease in quantity supplied, there is a leftward shift. If there is an increase in quantity supplied, there is a rightward shift. And if there is a decrease in supply, there is a leftward shift. Please remember this. Is that clear, friends? Come on, guys. Is that clear? Yes. So remember, in increase, you move rightwards. In decrease, you shift leftwards. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. So let's go on, guys. Let's go on, guys. Let's talk about this question. Let's see who of you is answering this correct. In case of demand, extension will lead to dash movement. In case of supply, extension will lead to dash movement. Come on, guys, answer this. A very important MCQ. A very important MCQ. In case of demand, extension will lead to dash movement. In case of supply, extension will lead to dash movement. Come on, guys. A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D? Come on, answer it, friends. Come on. Absolutely, C. In case of demand, extension leads to downward movement along the same demand curve. In case of supply, extension leads to upward movement along the same supply curve. And therefore, B is the correct option. B is the correct option. Downward, comma, upward. Yes, sir. Let's see the next one question. Let's see the next question, sir. So if you talk about the next one, my dear friends, in case of increase in supply, what will remain constant? Think and answer. In case of increase in supply, price of related goods will be constant, price of own commodity will be constant, income will remain constant, or nature of technology will remain constant. In case of increase in supply, which one of them will remain constant? That is not change. Which one of them will remain constant? That is not change. Come on, guys. Let's hear it from you all. Fantastic. You all are right. In case of increase or decrease in supply, what will remain constant? It is please remember, in case of increase or decrease in supply, what will remain constant? It will be the price of own commodity. It will be the price of own goods, price of own commodity. That will remain constant. Got it, friends? Yes, sir. Clear. Now, my dear friends, we talk about time period and supply. We talk about time period and supply. Okay, so pay attention, my dear friends. See, there are 4 types of time periods if we talk about supply. Number 1, very short period. It is so small that you cannot change the quantity in this small time period. Very small. Suppose I am a manufacturer of chips. Now, you come to me and you ask me that, sir, in 2 minutes, I need 2000 packets of chips. You all tell me, in this time period of 2 minutes, is it possible for me to manufacture, pack, and provide you with 2000 packets of chips in just 2 minutes? Is this time period enough? Obviously, sir, not. Remember, this time period concept will also come under production and cost chapter. So very important. In the upcoming future, we will be studying production and cost. There also it will be handy. So remember this time period concept very well, huh? Okay. So obviously you will say that no, sir, it's not possible to increase supply by 2000 units in just 2 minutes. So the supply, the time period that we are talking about, where supply cannot change at all, is called a very short period. Is called a very short period. Here supply cannot change at all. यहाँ सप्लाई बिल्कुल नहीं बदल सकता. सप्लाई बिल्कुल नहीं बदल सकता. ठीक. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. Come on. If we talk about next one, pay attention. See, if some change in supply is possible, then we talk about short period. How, sir? I will give you an example. Suppose I delivered 2000 chips. Okay. Now the consumer is telling me that within the next 3 days, they will need additional 500 chips. So what will I do? I cannot buy new machine. So machine is a fixed factor here. Machine cannot be changed, but I can ask the labor to work overtime. I can buy more raw material for these 3 days. So some factors can be increased, like labor, right? For production, we need labor. For production, we need machine. Machine cannot be increased in this 3 days period. But definitely labor can be worked overtime, and therefore some factors are variable, some factors are fixed. Fixed is the factor of production that cannot be changed. Variable factor of production can be varied, and so there can be some change in supply. Not a large change, but some change in supply is definitely possible. Not a large change in supply, but some change in supply is definitely possible. Acha, is that so, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that is so. So there is a possibility of some change in supply. There is definitely a possibility of some change in supply. Okay, got it, sir. We got it, sir. We got it, sir. Let's move on. Let's move on. If we talk about long period, suppose somebody gives me 1 year to manufacture 20,000 chips. Now it's clear, I can do that. Now, long period is a time period where I can buy new machines as well as hire new labor. So all the factors of productions can be changed. So all the factors of production are variable here. Variable means they can be changed, increased or decreased. Yes or no? Yes, sir. And therefore, long period is a time period where supply can change to any extent. Long period is a time period where supply can be changed by any extent or to any extent. In long period, supply can be changed to or increased to any extent. Is that so, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that is. Got it, sir. It's a variable time period again. And finally, moving on to the market period. To the market period. It's a period where the economy is changing, where the dynamics is changing. So let's say India used to be an old country. Now India is a young country after, let's say, 50 years, 60 years. Yes or no? This is a change in dynamism, where the entire economic structure is changing, where the demography is entirely changing, where the kind of behavior the people have is changing. So suppose a country has a lot of uneducated people, but 50 years later, the country has every educated person. So the kind of product that will be supplied will be different, and therefore it is a secular or a market period. Complete change in the nature of market. Here there is a complete change in the nature of market. Here there will be a complete change in the nature of market. Here there will be a complete change in the nature of market. Acha, did you understand, friends? Yes, sir, we did understand. So my dear friends, there are 4 points to consider here in time period and supply. Number one, very short period. Here supply cannot change at all. Short period, here supply can change a little bit. Long period, supply can change with large quantity. Long period, supply can change with large quantity, and secular period, supply can change by any quantity. It doesn't matter. I hope this is crystal clear, friends. Yes, sir. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is called elasticity of supply. If you all are ready, I am ready. Come on, guys. Are you all ready? to discuss elasticity of supply, friends? Yes, sir, we are ready. Is that clear, friends? So what is elasticity of supply? Let's talk about elasticity of supply. Okay. Elasticity of supply. My dear friends, elasticity of supply is the degree of change of quantity supplied to the change in own price. So if there is a change in price, by how much will quantity change? That is called elasticity. So if there is a change in price, by how much will the quantity change? That is elasticity of supply. Remember, elasticity of supply is a quantitative phenomenon. I told this in case of demand as well. In supply, I will repeat. Elasticity of supply is also a quantitative phenomenon. Now pay attention, guys. Suppose price is rising by 2%. Suppose delta means change. So there is a change in price by, let's say, 2%. Plus means positive change. So let's say change in price by 2% is resulting in change in quantity by 10%. So my question is, you all will answer me. For every 1% change in price, by how much is quantity rising? For every 1% rise in price, by how much will quantity rise? Come on, answer me though. Everybody answer me. For 1% rise in price, by how much is quantity rising? Come on, answer me. Secular market is a very long period where the entire market demography is changing. The kind of population, the nature of population, the type of goods supplied is changing. Like 50 years back, the kind of goods supplied was very different from the kind of goods supplied today. So there it is. Simple. But you all answer me this. Yes, absolutely correct. So when you all say that, sir, for 2% change in price, if quantity is changing by 10%, then for 1%, how much will it be? You all did 10% by 2%. So basically what you did was percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. And mind you, percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price is nothing but elasticity of supply. Is nothing but elasticity of supply. Achha. So elasticity of supply is percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Is that so, sir? Did we hear you correct? Yes, you heard us correct. Yes, you heard it correct. So that is elasticity. Here elasticity of supply is equals to 5. What does it mean? It means that every time price will rise by 1%, quantity will rise by 1% into 5, that is 5%. So if price rises by 4%, my question is, guys, what will be the change in supply? Please answer me this question. What will be the change in quantity if change in price is 4%? Answer me. I'm waiting for your answer. Next question. Come on, answer this. Answer me this. That if price is changing by 4%, by how much will quantity supplied change? Come on, friends. Answer this. Nice. Nice. Very good. People are correct. So, sir, if price is changing by 1%, supply is changing by 5%. So, if price is changing by 4%, supply will change by 4% into 5, 20%. So, let me tell you guys, the quantity supplied here is going to change by 20%. That's right. 20% will be your answer. 20% will be your answer. Sir, we understood. Because we have just multiplied. Oh, because it's very simple, na? Guys, pay attention. What is elasticity of supply? Elasticity of supply is change in quantity by change in price. So suppose if you have to calculate change in quantity, if you have to compute change in quantity supplied, what you do? Elasticity of supply into percentage change in price. That's it. You will get your answer. 4% into 5, that is 20%. Please note it down. Obviously, if this goes here, it will automatically become that formula, na, which I have written with blue color. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me ask you another question. Let's see whether you are able to solve this or not. Let's see if you are able to solve this one or not. Let's hear it from you. Let's hear it from you. So the question is, price of bags have risen from 800 to 1000 rupees. Okay, price of bags have risen from 800 to 1000 rupees, because of which quantity supplied has risen from 500 to 600 units. Compute elasticity of supply. Compute elasticity of supply. Can you tell me what will be the answer, friends? Can you tell me what will be the answer, friends? Yes, you all are absolutely correct. See, first of all, we have to find percentage change in quantity. So from 500 to 600, so it is changing by 100. By what was the original? 500 into 100. So as far as supply is concerned, it is changing by 20%. So 20% has become the numerator. Now let's talk about percentage change in price. Let's talk about the percentage change in price. If we talk about the percentage change in price, friends, by how much is price rising? It has risen from 800 to 200. So it has risen by 200. Price has risen by 200. What was the original price? Sir, original price was 800 into 100 into 100. So by 4 and 25. So here also you put 25. So percent gone. 5 4s are 5 5s are 4 by 5 0.8. Elasticity will be 0.8. Yes or no, friends? Here it is. See, percentage change in price. It has increased by 200. So 200 by 800 into 100. It is 25%. Percentage change in quantity. Again, it has increased by 100. So 100 by 500 into 100. Into 100 is done to convert it into percentage terms, obviously. So that's giving you 20%. That's giving you 20%. Now what are you doing? You're exactly doing 20% by 25%. Once you do that, percent gone. 5 4s are 25, 5s are 25. So 4 by 5, and that's simply 0.8. Is that clear, my dear friends? Yes or no, please? Yes or no, please? My question is, guys, price elasticity of demand was negative, but elasticity of supply is positive. Can you tell me why elasticity of supply is positive? Why demand was negative? Who will say? Come on, let's see. Why elasticity of supply is positive? Because here we are not putting modulus. It's by natural means coming positive. Why is it so? What is causing such a change? What is forcing such a change? You all guessed it correct. You all guessed it correct. Why is it positive? My dear friends, it's positive because of direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Because of direct relationship. Because of direct relationship. Because of direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, elasticity of supply is positive. Because there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Very good. In demand, there was inverse relationship. So the value that was coming was negative, because rise in one would lead to fall in the other. Here, both are rising, both are moving in the same direction, and hence our answer. Yes or no, friends? Yes, sir. Now, my dear friends, just like demand, there are 5 types of price elasticity of supply. Okay, sir. Okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, sir. If we write further, just like demand, pay attention, friends. Pay attention. Okay. Yes. So if we talk about demand, just like that, we are discussing elasticity of supply. The conclusion is elasticity of supply is percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. It is positive, that is indicating direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. That's correct. That's correct. Correct, sir. In demand, it used to be negative because of inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. This we have studied under elasticity of demand. Okay, right, sir. So now let's focus on the types of price elasticity of supply. All the same 5 types that was there in demand, same 5 types. Acha? Yes, sir. Types of price elasticity of supply. So there are 5 types, much like demand. Sir, can you elaborate? Absolutely, why not? Number one is, please pay attention. Number one is perfectly inelastic supply. Number one is perfectly inelastic supply. Number two is perfectly elastic supply. Okay. See, then we have relatively elastic supply. Again, we have relatively inelastic supply. And finally, we have unitary elastic supply. Finally, we have unitary elastic supply. Unitary elastic supply. Now pay attention, my dear friends. Perfectly inelastic supply. First of all, how is elastic supply determined? It is correct percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Now pay attention. We are discussing inelastic supply. So here elasticity is value. Pay attention, guys. Here price will not change at all. Quantity will change by large amount. That is elastic supply. In inelastic supply, quantity will not change at all. So change in quantity is 0. Change in price can be whatever. You all know 0 by anything is 0. So here the value of elasticity of supply is 0. It means that a change in price is having no impact on supply. It is in reality possible. Sir, what example? Can you give us an example? Yes. Guys, you all tell me, have you heard of the painting of Mona Lisa? Have you heard of this painting called Mona Lisa? There is a painting by a famous painter, Picasso or Michelangelo something. Okay. Whoever it is, price will have no impact on their quantity supplied. Since they are rare, whatever is there already is there. Nothing more can be produced. Understood, sir? Yes. Yeah, one of friend is saying, sir, Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, whoever it is. What I'm trying to say is try to understand that here the supply is perfectly inelastic, meaning a change in price is having no impact on quantity supplied. Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. So here the supply is 0. Even if price rises by 100%, 200%, quantity supplied will remain same. Sir, please explain perfectly inelastic supply in Hindi. Okay, in Hindi I will explain. देखिए, perfectly inelastic supply का मतलब है कि प्राइस कितना ही बदल ले, क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड नहीं बदलने वाली. ये एक केस है. सर ऐसा कब होगा? अब आप लोग सोचिए, मोनालिसा की जो पेंटिंग है, अब अगर उस ओरिजिनल पेंटिंग का दाम 10 करोड़ है, 10 करोड़ से आप डबल कर दो और 20 करोड़ कर दो, तो क्या एक नया ओरिजिनल पेंटिंग क्रिएट हो जाएगा? क्या प्राइस बढ़ने की वजह से सप्लाई बढ़ जाएगा क्या ओरिजिनल का? नहीं. तो मतलब प्राइस आप कितना भी बढ़ा लीजिए, सप्लाई कांस्टेंट है, सप्लाई नहीं बदल रहा है. तो यानी कि अगर आप न्यूमरेटर देखो तो परसेंटेज चेंज इन क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड इज 0. प्राइस कुछ भी हो, 100% से ही शायद बढ़ गया, तो 0 by 100% भी क्या होगा? 0 ही होगा ना. ये है परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक सप्लाई. अब तो क्लियर है ना सभी को? हाँ ना बताइए. यस और नो प्लीज. यस सर. नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू perfectly elastic supply. It is just the opposite. It is just the opposite. Here, elasticity of supply will be infinity. What is happening here is that see, elasticity of supply is percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Now pay attention. If we are talking about perfectly elastic supply, pay attention, my dear friends. Here there is almost no change in price. but quantity supplied is changing. This is not really possible. So the value of anything by zero is infinity, and so perfectly elastic supply is infinity. This is just a hypothetical scenario. In reality, it's not possible. That's correct. That's correct. Yes. Opposite. In perfectly inelastic supply, what was not changing? Quantity. Price was changing. In perfectly elastic supply, only quantity is changing, price is not changing. Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Then we are talking about relatively elastic supply. My dear friend, this is a scenario where percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price. So if you talk about the formula, elasticity is percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. So if you see, numerator is greater than denominator. If, my dear friends, numerator is greater than denominator, the value of fraction will be greater than 1. The value of fraction will be greater than 1. That is relatively elastic supply. Here the supply will be greater than 1. Elastic supply. Relatively elastic supply. Here the elasticity will be greater than 1. Here the elasticity will be greater than 1. That is relatively elastic supply. That is relatively elastic supply, where the percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price. If numerator is greater than denominator, obviously fractional value will be greater than 1. Yes or no? Suppose quantity rises by 200%. Price rises only by 100%. So 200 by 100 is 2, na, which is greater than 1. In relatively inelastic supply, there is a change in both quantity and price. In relatively inelastic supply also, there is a change in both quantity supplied and price. But in relatively inelastic supply, change in quantity supplied is with a lesser quantity compared to price. Change in quantity supplied is with a lesser quantity compared to price. So if you see, if the percentage change in quantity supplied is numerator, percentage change in price is denominator. Now you all tell me, if denominator is greater than the numerator, will the fraction be 1, greater than 1 or less than 1? What do you think the value will be? Will it be 1, greater than 1 or less than 1? What do you think will it be? You are correct. Sir, if denominator, अगर denominator numerator से ज़्यादा हुआ, तो value elasticity का less than 1 होगा ना? This is what we are doing. In relatively inelastic supply, elasticity of supply is less than 1. Elasticity of supply is less than 1. That is relatively inelastic supply. Relatively inelastic supply. अच्छा sir. And finally, my dear friends, we talk about unitary elastic supply. Pay attention. What is this scenario? What is unitary elastic supply? My dear friends, when percentage change in quantity supplied, please remember, we will discuss the graphs, obviously, don't worry. We will discuss the graphs in our upcoming day, don't worry. Whenever percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage, is equal to percentage change in price, that is, numerator and denominator are same, then fraction will be 1. This is a unitary elastic supply. Here value of elasticity of supply will be equal to 1. That is, both price and quantity supplied are changing with the same percentage, same proportion, same value. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Yes, sir, that's crystal clear. Shall we move to some institute material questions? Are you all ready for it? Are you all up for it? Come on, guys. Come on, yeah. Tell me. Some more MCQs. So if you have a look here, pay attention, guys. Pay attention, guys. Let's take you to the material. All right. Let's discuss some sums here. I mean numericals here. Okay, let's do this one. Question 74. All of you, Please do this one. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Come on, everyone. We are focusing on the supply part, by the way. We will solve other also. In our upcoming class, we will solve demand and consumer equilibrium also. Don't worry. But now we are focused on supply part, as it is our supply topic that's going on today. Come on, take your time and answer this. Yes. So see, what is elasticity of supply? Percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Okay. Now here, supplies has risen by 25%, as you rightly guessed, and price has risen by how much? 10%. So if you look carefully, the value that you are coming to is 2.5. 2.5. Yes, sir. There lies your answer. 2.5. Sir, we get it. 2.5 is our answer. Moving on. An increase in the number of sellers of bikes. What will happen? An increase in number of seller of bike. Remember, quantity will, and it will be a positive because there is a direct relation. Next 75. 75. Okay. An increase in number of sellers of bike will increase what? Price of bike, demand of bike, supply of bike, demand for helmets. What will happen? You have to choose only one. Huh? You will only have to choose one. So focus only on one, friends. Correct. As the number of sellers increases, quantity supplied rises. So supply of bikes will rise. Absolutely correct. Bang on correct. All right. Another in related to time period. In related to time period we discussed today. In very short period, supply can be changed, cannot be changed, can be increased, cannot be increased. I mean none of the above. Which one of them do you think? In question 80. Come on, guys. Very good. Very good. I can see your answers. Absolutely. So yes, my dear friends, in a very short period, your answer is correct. In a very short period, the supply cannot be changed. That's right. In a very short period, the supply cannot be changed. Got it, sir. When supply curve shifts to the left, what does it mean? It means lesser quantity supplied, at a given point, larger quantity, price of fallen and quantity supplied, none of the above. What do you think happens? Given means constant. Just saying. Write it down in your copies or books, whatever you have right now. Given means constant. Come on, tell me. So my dear friends, when it is moving to the left, if this is the supply curve, if it's moving to the left, it is because of other factors. Supply is reducing, own price remaining constant, and so lesser quantity supplied at a given price because there is no change in price because it is moving to the left. That is the case of increase and decrease in supply. I hope you remember that. So in 81 we will have A as our answer. Let's see. 82 is similar to 81. So let's see if you are able to answer 82. Let's see if you are able to answer 82 now. Come on, mates. Absolutely. So if you all agree, yes, when supply moves to right, supply increases as more quantity is supplied at a given price. That's right. Just the opposite of the previous one. Yes, the next definition. Elasticity of supply defined as responsiveness of quantity supplied to change in price, responsiveness of quantity supplied of a good without change in price, responsiveness of quantity demanded to change in price, responsiveness of quantity demanded without change in price. Question is from elasticity of supply. Come on, answer it. Very easy one, isn't it? Very easy one, isn't it? Absolutely. Responsiveness of quantity supplied to change in its price. Obviously, without change, why will you calculate? Elasticity is with respect to price. Okay, sir. Yeah, good question. Elasticity of supply is computed by how? By percentage change in quantity supplied by what? By what? What will be the denominator if you want to compute elasticity of supply? Come on, guys, answer this one. A good one. Yes, you are correct. So yes, by percentage change in price. By percentage change in price. Achha. If elasticity of supply is zero, we have studied it today. What does it mean? Supply is perfectly inelastic. Supply is perfectly elastic, imperfect, or none of the above. What do you think is the answer? Remember, it is zero. Think of the fraction. Think of the fraction. My hint is only think of the fraction. Okay. So yes, you people are correct when you tell me elasticity of supply is this is correct, is zero, means it is perfectly inelastic supply. There is no change in supply whatsoever. And so it is zero. Absolutely correct. Move on. Let's move on. Elasticity of supply is greater than one. Is greater than one. Elasticity of supply is greater than one. When? When do you think it is greater than one? When percentage change in quantity supplied is more than proportionate change in price. That's right. Because if numerator is greater than denominator, only then the fraction can be greater than 1. That is relatively elastic supply. That is relatively elastic supply. Yes, sir. Achha, answer this one. If quantity supplied, if the quantity supplied is exactly equal to relative change in price, then elasticity is. So if change in quantity supplied is equal to change in price, it will be equal to 1. Unitary elastic supply, as we call it. Unitary elastic supply, as we call it. I hope all of you remember that. We call it unitary elastic supply. Yes, sir, we do remember. Okay. Next question is, okay, the supply curve shifts to the right because of what? Better technology, increased price of factors of production, increased excise duty, or all of them? Think and answer, number 96. Think and answer, number 96. Think and answer. Yes, you got it correct. The supply curve shift to the right. The supply curve shift to the right because of, yes, improved technology. Because rise in price of factors of production will reduce profit. So the cost will, I mean the quantity supplied will fall. Increased excise duty means more taxes. Excise duty is like a tax charge on manufacture of commodities. More taxes imply more cost. More cost implies lesser profit. Lesser profit implies lesser quantity supplied. Right? And therefore, all of the above can't be there. Improved technology is going to be our answer. Is that clear, friends? So, my dear friends, beyond this, like the elasticity of supply diagram, we carry forward in our next class. So, see you all in the next class. Till then, goodbye, everyone. Tata. Thank you very much. Bye bye.